Reports are a very, very helpful tool within Infinite Campus for you to get grade printouts for parent meetings or SSTs, to make blank rosters for just tick sheets for things that you do, to make seating charts, and whatever else there may be. In order to get to the reports, if you don't see it, you click on the hamburger or the 3 parallel lines in the top left-hand corner. You'll then go on down to Reports. And what you'll see here will be some common reports up top, as well as a list of them. If there are a few that I would recommend that you know and understand, it would be the blank spreadsheet, the student summary, as well as maybe the portal usage. The blank spreadsheet is going to give you basically a tick sheet that you need for your students, for your class. Maybe you do a daily check off of things or whatever. If you click on the blank spreadsheet, you'll be able to generate it for your class. What you can do is you can title it. So maybe I want to call it a week of, I don't know, March 8th. And that anything I checked off for the week is going to be there. I can choose to make 5 columns as a default, Monday through Friday. Or maybe I want to make like a 15-column thing. I can choose to put in the student ID number next to the student name. And then what I can also do is I can choose a course or courses. I could also choose which students I want on the list. You notice here by default that drop students will not be put on the list, which is a nice thing to have because you want to focus on the students who are there. If I'm happy with it, I can generate my PDF. And what I'm going to see now is going to be my report with the student's name and the ID number there, a bunch of places for me to mark things down and have it ready to go. This way, the day-to-day stuff as part of an activity I can check off. Maybe I just want to keep this in my emergency folder so that way I have a roster ready to go. I can do that too. If I go back to another report, maybe I do have a SST meeting and I want to be able to bring in a grade printout for my student. Or maybe at some point in the term, a student who was with me had a schedule change and was dropped from my class and was put over to a colleague's course. What I can do then is go to the student summary. I can then do an assignment detail, 1 student per page, and I can choose any one or number of things that I want to have on this report. I can then also choose which student or students I want. So maybe in this case, I want to drop student because I want to give my colleague across the hall, in this case, Finn's work that was done before Finn had a schedule change. Or maybe I'm getting ready to go to an SST meeting for Catherine, and I would be able to generate a grade printout for her to share with the counselors and the parents to talk about areas of strength and areas for growth and how we can support that student. If I select that student or students, maybe I have 2 students that transferred, I don't know. I can then generate the PDF, and I'll get a nice report here of how my student was doing overall. I'd be able to see how my student was doing by category, and then all the assignments here, whether they're missing, handed in, or whatever else it might be. So again, a very, very helpful thing to have to share as needed, whether the student had a schedule change or you need to talk about student performance for any kind of intervention or help. Lastly, if you go back to the reports, you can also go and you can see what's known as portal usage. So maybe for your class period, you want to see when students have last signed in to check their grades, or when parents have last signed in to check grades as well, because that might be a helpful tool as well. Maybe a parent feels overwhelmed, but it turns out that the student's parents never signed in because maybe the parent didn't know how to sign into campus. By being able to check this out, you'd be able to have some idea of where it is. If you see that someone is checking in quite often, that's a good sign, and the portal usage could be a helpful thing for you to see. Unfortunately, I don't have any real data to share here because this is just a demo gradebook, but this is where I would go to it.